told me this today. He says, I want everybody inside Miracle Christian Center, everybody in every church around the world, I want everybody to have a miracle. I said, what did you say? I want everybody to have a miracle. Tell somebody, God wants you to have a miracle. Whether it was yesterday, whether it is today, whether it is tomorrow, at some point in your life, you're going to need God to perform a miracle in your life. A lot of people today are sitting there scratching their head right now, trying to figure out how you're going to make it, or what you're going to do, or how you're going to get through what you're going through. Are you hearing me? But at the end of the day, you're going to come to the conclusion that I need divine intervention. You're still trying to figure things out on your own. You are still trying to work things out on your own without realizing this is too difficult for me. This is too hard for me. I need divine intervention. A lot of people go to church, but they don't expect anything from the church. I'll say that again. A lot of people go to church, but they don't expect anything from the church. If I'm going to be talked about as a church, let me just talk about MCC. If I'm going to be talked about as a church, I'm known as a church, I want to be known as the church of miracles. I want to be known that people say that I know that if I go over there, I know this is going to happen to me because this is the way that they believe over there. Every church don't believe in the same thing. Whether you want to believe it or not, understand this. Whether you want to believe this or not, you yourself are a miracle. Tell somebody what I just said. You yourself are a miracle. Look at where God has brought you from. Look at where you was. Ain't nobody saying nothing here. Look what God has done in you and to you and for you. Come on, come on. What are you talking about, Prophet Suggs? I'm talking about God took you and he turned a mess into a miracle. What has happened to the laying on of hands on the sick? What has happened to that? What has happened to casting out demons? In the early days of the Bible, Jesus' ministry, there was a lot of people. I was reading, I was like, good gracious, a lot of people had a lot of stuff going on, but there was a whole lot of people that had demons. Come on, everybody knows somebody that might have some kind of illness going on. Everybody knows somebody who is experiencing maybe some type of sickness, but nobody is talking about the miracles of God performing a miracle for the person. God began to speak to me and he says many generations have passed on because of the lack of miracles. Many people have left this earth because of the lack of miracles. Many people have died out because of the lack of miracles. But I made up in my mind today that I'm going to do the works that Jesus did. He said if I believe in him, in the works that he do, I shall do greater works. I come here to tell you today that God is still in the miracle business. God is still in the healing business. I come here to tell you today that there's nothing that is too hard for God. If you will believe God for your breakthrough, if you will believe God for your miracle, if you will believe God for your release, he's going to come and he's going to give you the desires of your heart. God is still doing miracles. Tell somebody what I just said. Those of you who are watching today, God is still doing miracles. I'm talking to you today from the Miracle Christian Center, 3475 G Airport Boulevard, Wilson, North Carolina. I tell you today, I prophesy to you today that you don't have to die, that you can live. God is still doing miracles. Maybe he's not doing it over there at that church. Maybe he's not doing it over there at that church. Or maybe he's not doing it right there at that church. But I'm here to tell you today that God is still doing miracles. No matter what nobody says, God is still working miracles. No matter what nobody says, God is still miracles. No matter what nobody said, God is still opening blinded eyes. God is still unstopping deaf ears. God is still healing the sick. He's still casting out demons. No matter what nobody said, he's still doing great work. It may not be happening over there, but it's happening over here. I prophesy now. I prophesy right now. There's somebody right now in Wilson Memorial Hospital that's laying there intensive care. I prophesy now that you snap out of it. I prophesy now that a miracle happened for you. I prophesy now that somebody about to take an x-ray, but I decree that the hand of God will go into the radiology department. I decree the hand of God will go in the CAT scan department. I decree the hand of God will move right now. Yes, right now. I decree the hand of God right now will move. I reverse that cold blue. That cold blue has been recalled. That cold blue has been recalled right now. I decree now, somebody taking an MRI right now. I decree now that the power of God begin to move. The power of God. Somebody's in surgery now. Take control over the hands of the doctors. Do it right now. Do it right now. In the name of Jesus. Miracle with it. Those of you who are watching on the World Wide Web or watching around the world, those who are here today, a miracle within, awaiting to happen. Tell somebody, a miracle within, awaiting to happen. Every person that's here today or those who are watching by way of television, God spoke to me today and he says to tell you that there is a miracle within you that is about to explode. There is a miracle. You didn't hear what I said. There is a miracle that's within you that is getting ready to explode. If I was to ask a question today, the question that I would ask every one of you is this: do you believe in miracles? Ask somebody, do you believe in miracles? Mark 9:23, Jesus says, if you can, said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. Jesus is talking to this man because this man has unbelief. Jesus says to him, if you can, said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. I want everybody to understand this today. Miracles just don't happen. You have to position yourself for a miracle. Are you hearing me? If you're here today, or those who are watching, if you are expecting a good outcome, if you are expecting a good outcome, then understand this, that it's going to take a miracle from God. Miracles are nothing new throughout Jesus' ministry. The Bible says that he went about doing good, healing all that were oppressed of the devil. For God was with him. As we study the New Testament, one thing that we will find out, that there was a lot of people in the Bible who had demon or demonic activity going on in their life. Jesus had a lot to say about stuff that was going on with people. He had a lot to say. Understand this, MCC. At some point in your life, whether it was yesterday, whether it's going to be today, or whether it's going to be tomorrow, you are going to need God to perform a miracle in your life. I don't think you heard what I said. Whether it was yesterday, whether it is today, whether it is tomorrow, at some point in your life, you're going to need God to perform a miracle in your life. How many of you hear me? Understand this. Understand this. You can believe that, but if you want to believe it or not, it's just a fact. You're going to need God in this walk of life to perform some type of miracle in your life. How many of you hear me? Some people don't believe that they are going to need a miracle. A lot of people today are sitting there scratching their head right now, trying to figure out how you're going to make it, or what you're going to do, or how you're going to get through what you're going through. Are you hearing me? But at the end of the day, you're going to come to the conclusion that I need divine intervention. You're still trying to figure things out on your own. You are still trying to work things out on your own without realizing this is too difficult for me. This is too hard for me. I need divine intervention. Look at somebody and tell them you need divine intervention. Understand this. People talk about church all the time. We hear about this church, or we hear about that church, or we hear about things that are transpiring at churches. But one of the things, think about this, but one of the things that we do not hear anymore, we don't hear too many people anymore talking about miracles. How many of y'all hear me? In the early church, people talked about the miracles of God. They talked about what happened in the church, the miracles that God has done in the church. But the question today is, what has happened to miracles in the church? Why it seems that now we don't talk about miracles anymore? Has the church now got to the place where people don't believe in miracles anymore? If I was to ask you today, have you got to the place now, or have you got to the point now where you don't believe in miracles anymore? I'm asking you the question. Understand this, we go to church, but we're not seeing the power of God in our lives. How can you go to church but not look for positive things to happen in your life? You ought to be looking for positive things to happen in your life. Come on, somebody. A lot of people go to church, but they don't expect anything from the church. I'll say that again. A lot of people go to church, but they don't expect anything from the church. If I'm going to be talked about as a church, let me just talk about MCC. If I'm going to be talked about as a church, I'm known as a church, I want to be known as the church of miracles. I want to be known that people say that I know that if I go over there, I know this is going to happen to me because this is the way that they believe over there. I'm going to go ahead and preach without you. Understand this. Every church don't believe in the same thing. Tell somebody what I just said. Every church don't believe in the same thing. Whether you want to believe it or not, understand this. Whether you want to believe this or not, you yourself are a miracle. Tell somebody what I just said. You yourself are a miracle. Look at where God has brought you from. Look at where you was. Ain't nobody saying nothing here. Look what God has done in you and to you and for you. Come on, come on. What are you talking about, Prophet Suggs? I'm talking about God took you and he turned a mess into a miracle. Nobody's, come on, they said you would never get saved. They said you would never serve God. They said you would never walk with God. But God took a mess and God turned a mess into a miracle. Touch three people and tell them, I am a miracle. I am a miracle. I am a what? Miracle. I am a miracle. Understand this. Many Christians, when it comes to miracles, they just wish and hope that it happens. They think that there is no way to grab a hold of miracles and make them happen. But understand this. This is not the kind of language or teaching that the Bible teaches about. Understand this. God is predictable. Tell somebody, God is predictable. And not only is God predictable, God is orderly. He doesn't do one thing this time and another thing another time. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Understand that when God created this world and everything physical around us, he created the physical world orderly. The Bible says that God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And not only that, God is faithful. I need somebody to say that God is faithful. So how is it? How? You said that a miracle is within. How do you receive a miracle from God? I've been in this church a long time and you talk about miracles, but how do I go about receiving a miracle from God? Well, the first thing is you must first understand and you must first realize that miracles are not just a hit and miss. Tell somebody what I just said. Miracles are not just a hit and miss. Are you hearing me? You can tap into a miracle. Tell somebody what I just said. You can tap into a miracle. When you learn the laws of God, and how they work, a miracle will happen for you. See, I'm already however minutes into the message and your brain is just starting to wake up. Understand, when you learn the laws of God and how they work, a miracle will happen. I'm not saying that you can just push a button every time you want to push a button and God pops out, or you can make God do whatever you want him to do. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is God is turned on all the time, and at any time you get turned on, you can see the power of God beginning to operate in your life. See, understand this, ladies and gentlemen. God is already turned on. When are you going to get turned on? Because the moment that you get turned on, that's the moment when things begin to happen. That's when you can expect the unexpected. That's when you will begin to see the extraordinary power of God, or the supernatural power of God, is when you get turned on. Tell somebody, God is waiting for you to get turned on. Understand this. God is always wanting to move on your behalf. Understand this. God is for you and he is a good God. Did you hear what I just said? You are the one who controls God's ability in your life. Tell somebody what I just said. You are the one who controls God's ability in your life. God don't control that. It is God's power and ability. It's his power, yeah. It's his ability, yeah. But it's up to you. I need you to look at somebody and tell them it's up to you. The scripture says in Ephesians 3:20, now unto him that is able, yes, to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Tell your neighbor, it's in you. It's in you. So a lot of times, many people, they miss that last part. According to the power that worketh in us. If there is no power in you, then you can stop God's intervention in your life. You didn't hear what I said. If there is no power in you, then you can stop God's intervention in your life. God has chosen to never to violate your will. I'll move on because it's a quiet church. Understand this. God has chosen to flow through you. When you going to get the church flow? When you going to get in the church flow? He has already chosen to flow through you. Look at somebody and tell them God wants to flow through you. Understand this. Understand this. The devil, who is Satan, he cannot stop God's power, but you can. You didn't hear what I said. The devil cannot stop God's power, but you can. How can I stop God's power? Not being in the church flow, not being turned on. Come on, somebody, come on. But the devil himself, he cannot stop God's power. power, but you can. God told me this today. He says, I want everybody inside Miracle Christian Center, everybody in every church around the world, I want everybody to have a miracle. I said, what did you say? I want everybody to have a miracle. Tell somebody, God wants you to have a miracle. But you got to stop waiting and start believing. Come on, talk to me, somebody. Come on. You got to stop waiting and what? Start believing. Understand this. Understand this. What has happened? What has happened? We used to see this. We used to see this when I was growing up. The laying on of hands on the sick. What has happened to that? What has happened to casting out demons? In the early days, a lot of people had a lot of stuff going on, but there was a whole lot of people that had demons. Come on. Everybody knows somebody that might have some kind of illness going on. Everybody knows somebody who is experiencing maybe some type of sickness, but nobody is talking about the miracles of God performing a miracle for the person. Understand this. If we're not believing God for a miracle, then what are we expecting to happen? Understand that. You know somebody that's going through something. Well, then that's where you need to interject and say, I'm going to believe God with you for a miracle. Come on. I believe that God is going to work this thing. Ain't nobody said nothing. You didn't hear me. I said, I believe. I'm not talking about y'all. Let me talk for me. I believe God going to work this thing. I believe that God gonna work this thing out. Come on, talk to me, somebody. I know that he's gonna do it. Understand, God began to speak to me, and he says many generations have passed on because of the lack of miracles. Many people have left this earth because of the lack of miracles. Many people have died out because of the lack of miracles. But I made up in my mind today that I'm gonna do the works that Jesus did. He said, if I believe in him, in the works that he do, I shall do greater works. I come here to tell you today that God is still in the miracle business. God is still in the healing business. I come here to tell you today that there's nothing that is too hard for God. If you will believe God for your breakthrough, if you will believe God for your miracle, if you will believe God for your release, he's going to come and he's going to give you the desires of your heart. God is still doing miracles. Tell somebody what I just said. Those of you who are watching today, God is still doing miracles. I'm talking to you today from the Miracle Christian Center, 3475G Airport Boulevard, Wilson, North Carolina. I tell you today, I prophesy to you today that you don't have to die, that you can live. God is still doing miracles. Maybe he's not doing it over there at that church. Maybe he's not doing it over there at that church. Or maybe he's not doing it right there at that church. But I'm here to tell you today that God is still doing miracles. What if somebody had a sign on the door and said, welcome to the dead church? Thank you for joining Dead Christian Center today. It didn't say Dead Christian Center. It said Miracle Christian Center. How you going to be a part of Miracle Christian Center and you don't partake in the miracle? You getting ready to partake in the miracles of God. Come on, you ain't just here just to be here. God got a strategy. God got a plan. Come on here. I wish there was somebody here today that really needed something from God, that know that he's able to do it. I wish there was somebody here today who was believing God with a great expectation that God's going to turn this thing around for me. Tell somebody there's a miracle within. Tell somebody there's a miracle. Tell somebody there is a miracle within. No matter what nobody says, I don't care who you are. I'm talking to you. No matter what nobody says, God is still working miracles. No matter what nobody says, God is still doing miracles. No matter what nobody said, God is still opening blinded eyes. God is still unstopping deaf ears. God is still healing the sick. He's still casting out demons. No matter what nobody said, he's still doing great works. It may not be happening over there, but it's happening over here. I need divine intervention. I need divine intervention. Some people will tell you, don't believe all that stuff. They don't want you to live. People, I prophesy. People, listen to me, world. People that tell you, don't believe all this stuff, they will die early. I said they would die early. God has never ceased from doing miracles. I prophesy now. I prophesy right now. There's somebody right now in Wilson Memorial Hospital that's laying there in intensive care. I prophesy now that you snap out of it. I prophesy now that a miracle happened for you. I prophesy now that somebody about to take an x-ray. But I decree that the hand of God will go into the radiology department. I decree the hand of God will go in the CAT scan department. I decree the hand of God will move right now. Yes, right now. I decree the hand of God right now will move. I reverse that cold blue. That cold blue has been recalled. That cold blue has been recalled right now. I decree now, somebody taking an MRI right now, I decree now that the power of God begin to move. The power of God. Somebody's in surgery now. Take control over the hands of the doctors. Do it right now. Do it right now. In the name of Jesus. Somebody ought to clap your hands in here and praise the Lord. Miracle with it. See, people die early. People die early because of their unbelief. Work this out within you. You have got to come to the conclusion, God, I know that you're able to do it. I know you're able to do this. No matter what, I know that you're able. Because you told me if I can just believe, if I can just have faith, you told me that even the impossible is possible. So I know that you are able. Because when you start talking like that, a miracle is in the making. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. No matter what has happened around you, don't matter who has fallen around you, does not mean that that's going to happen to you. It may have happened to a friend. It may have happened to a family member. It may have happened to a co-worker, but it does not mean that it's going to happen to you.